Okay, guys, welcome back to another video. Today, I am joined by Kileigh, who is one of my students in the six-figure Accelerator program. Kileigh has her own agency. She's doing pretty well with her agency. She's got some tips, and some value that I think she can share with us all here. So she's coming on today. So yeah, hope you guys get value from this video. And to Kileigh, thank you so much for hopping on.
Of course. So thank you so much for having me. I just want to say thank you for making the TikToks because it really inspired me to start my agency. So I'm very grateful for that. Like Adam said, my name is Kileigh Scott. I'm the owner of K&S Studios, which is a creative and social media marketing agency. And we help beauty businesses free up their time and create digital success on social media.
Awesome. Awesome. I love the fact that you have like the pitch, right? You have the exact definition of what you do down to a T. Awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, let's kick it off from there. So beauty businesses, what made you decide, hey, I'm going to work with beauty businesses? And is there a specific type of beauty business like e-commerce, salons, or what kind of business do you work with?
Yes, of course. So I decided to do beauty businesses because in the beginning of the year, I was actually freelancing and working with a company in LA. Well, beginning of the year, end of last year. And of course, everybody knows it was Corona-19. So
Hmm.
they were a mobile company where they were going to people's homes to service them. And because they couldn't really go into people's homes during the time, they had to rebrand their business to be an educational company. So I rebranded their whole business and I created loads of success for them and sold out a lot of their master classes. And since I had results in that aspect, I was just like, that's the perfect industry I should go in. So I'm
Hmm.
more in educators, beauty educators, as well as salons.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And you said a big part of what you do, right, is kind of free up their time
Yeah.
and then help them create success. So for you, what are the key things that you offer that helps them, one, save time and free up their time, and then what helps them kind of get those next results with their business?
Right, of course. So we do social media management and content creation. So since they
Cool.
are usually stylists and technicians themselves, we do all their social media management on their account and start to develop their communities or maintain their communities while they're servicing their clients. So that helps them
Cool.
free up their time. And of course, we make their content as well tailored to their branding. And what was the additional question you asked?
Yeah, so the second question then was kind of like, so that's how you obviously go about, saving them time, right? It's by managing the social media, posting the content, all of that good stuff. The second part was kind of how do you get them to that stage where they're like doing better, right? They're getting
Oh,
more success in their business.
yes, of course. So one of my main goals is to utilize their Instagram stories. That is the
Hmm.
best place to create communities because everybody's engaging there and it's just quicker to access and deliver messages. So we create engaging content. Basically, it helps us produce market research as well to see what the
Yeah.
audience is looking for and what they need and who they are. Say if I'm managing a salon, so they mostly have clients. So we give them informational content and stuff like that, and we're
Hmm.
also always talking back and forth and responding to their messages because community building is very important for these beauty businesses to create profitable results.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I think especially like you're saying, if they do have a salon where it's very in person, they're taking a client in, they have to have that trust, right? You're not going
Right.
to trust someone to like, if it's a massage or if it's like putting on eyelashes or whatever it may be, you're not going to do that unless you trust them. So that
Right.
definitely makes
Exactly.
sense.
We're in the
Awesome.
business of building trust through social media. Yes, of course.
I like that. I like that. We should keep that one as a quote. I'm gonna just take
Yes.
that one out. Nice.
Yes. We'll definitely
Cool,
use that
Kylie.
now.
Awesome, awesome. So that's your business, right? So
Yeah.
how's it doing at the moment? Results wise, how many clients do you have? Maybe what kind of prices do you charge with your clients?
Yes, of course. So we have 10 clients right now. Some of those are smaller clients. We do like graphic work for them because we
Hmm.
also offer creative services such as flyers and stuff like that. So we
Cool.
have some of those. For social media, we have 3 clients that are on a monthly retainer.
Hmm.
Um, Actually, I want to get into my first client. So my
Cool.
first client
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I yeah, my first client that I signed on in the week of like marketing my business. They signed on for $1,500 a month, which was
Hmm.
amazing. I was so excited to have that as a first client.
Yeah.
Although I realized that she was not necessarily an ideal client for the
Hmm.
business, so I decided to cancel service with services with her.
Okay.
And she was actually the only like top revenue client that we had at the time. So I was
Hmm.
literally leaping out on faith and just ending that contract.
Yeah.
After I ended that contract, a week later, I signed my client for 2,500.
Wow. So from 1.5K for the first client and your second client, 2.5K.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So there's definitely some lessons in that, right? Like, what were the warning signs with you that she was not an ideal client? Because you're right, it does happen. And you did take that leap of faith. You said, hey, look, I'm going to put my ego aside. I'm going to drop the revenue and I'm just going to say, look, let's part ways. And sometimes you got to do it because that client could turn into a nightmare client, or you just might not be able to get them results. And if you can't get results, there's not much you can do there. So what were the warning signs that kind of said to you, oh, this is going to be tricky?
Yes, of course. So it definitely started to be more of a nightmare client. Client was very bossy and
Hmm.
like micromanaged all of our work and
Yeah.
wanted to know everything that we were doing at every second of the day.
Hmm.
And we were producing loads of results for her. I think in the first month we created 101 followers for her, and all her insights were increasing enormously, and she
Hmm.
didn't say anything about it. She was just nitpicking on other things that didn't really honestly matter.
Hmm.
And I just realized, like for me and the team, because I hired a content creator and social media manager to help, it wasn't beneficial for her creativity and to produce for results for her. So
Yeah.
I
Cool.
requested that she hire an in-house person to help her so she can be more hands-on in the
More
process.
hands-on. Makes sense. Makes sense. I think when someone is like that, right, where they're like trying to micromanage and they literally want to know everything you're doing, that is a sign that they need just someone, right? They just need one person who just comes in full time with them and can
Right,
hold their hand through the process. I
right.
found the same thing when I was freelancing, Kileigh, before I had an agency. I had a
Mhm.
couple clients like that, and it was very much that like I was their in-house person almost. I had to
Right,
tell them everything I was doing every day, and if I didn't, they would be shocked, annoyed, and wondering
right,
where I was gone. So
right, exactly.
definitely good that I think you came across that early, because now you know like what to look out for and how to avoid that with the future clients that you take on. And
Exactly.
so obviously you had a pretty quick, I would say, rise to agency success. Most
Yeah.
people definitely don't get their first client in 1 week. And
Yeah.
even if they did, then they wouldn't get their second client, right, for 2.5K shortly after. So do you have any kind of like tips or strategies that you use, whether it was for reaching out to businesses or if it was tips for sales, right? So when you actually had that call with a business, what helped you get those deals locked in?
Yes, of course. So what I do is basically the same thing that I do for my companies. I
Hmm.
utilize social media. So I go into the hashtags, like you said, and I engage with bosses that either own salons or they're educators. And I
Cool.
also look at their follower count because that's very important to see like where their business is and if they can afford our services. So
Of
that's
course,
one
yeah.
of the things. So I also comment and stuff and engage with these bosses in their comments. That's how I got the first client. I literally just put it's the quality for me, and she DM me and was like, if you're ready to work, I'm ready. And I was like, okay, cool. So
Nice.
honestly, just putting yourself out there and talking to these girls. Another thing that I do is go into the DMs with a lot of the beauty business people. Since I know the service, I know how long it takes. So I
Hmm.
ask them what's their most popular service, and they say classic lashes. I
Hmm.
know that takes 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and so
Yeah.
I ask them. That takes 2 to 3 hours, right? So, who manages your social media account and creates content for you while you're servicing your clients? And then they
Nice.
usually tell me, they're like, actually, it is pretty hard. So then I just go in with our pitch to tell them how we can free up their time.
I absolutely love that, Kileigh. That is golden. That is really,
Thank
really
you.
good. Yeah, and again, and I think it really shows that like you have to understand the industry, right? If you
Right,
understand your industry, it's easy because
right,
you know what they're going to say, and you can ask those questions that get them to be a little bit vulnerable, where they're like,
right,
"Oh, you caught me. I don't have someone, and I need
right.
someone." So, yeah, that's really good. Really, really good stuff, and that's something I think a lot of people should try and implement. Go in an industry that you really know. And when you're asking questions, don't just ask a random question like, hey, are
Right.
you interested in Facebook ads? Like, ask them something related to their products or the services that they offer, because that's going to get them engaged. So
Right.
that's
Exactly.
awesome. Absolutely love that. And I think that's a huge value bomb right there.
Thank you. Also, I would also ask them like about their services, like I was a client interested in their services.
Yep.
So I would ask like, how can I, or what would you recommend the best lash set for me would be? And then I would go into the pitch as well.
Okay, solid. And like when you ask that question, how do you then transition that to the pitch? So you say, hey, what's the best lash set? And they
Mhm.
say, oh, it's the classic. How do you then kind of switch that into a sales conversation?
So if they say, oh, it's the classic, I will basically just be like, oh, nice. So I know that that's 2 hours long, and then I'll go into the pitch again.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. You have it down to a T. Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Cool. And
Yeah.
when you're having these conversations, then do you pitch them to get on a free consultation with you straight away? Or how does that
Um,
work for you?
It depends on client, like, or
Hmm.
face-to-face prospects. So if they want to learn more, if they request to learn more, I'll just offer them a brochure. And
Okay.
then in the brochure that we use through Honeybook, you can set up a section where they can schedule a call to like move forward and stuff.
Cool.
Sometimes I just request for them to book a call as well. For anybody that follows KNS Studios on Instagram, they get a welcome message where they can just automatically book there too. So it all depends on what the prospect, how I feel about the prospect.
Cool. Awesome. And I like that, a subtle little plug there. So guys, if you are in the beauty industry or you have a friend who has a beauty business, definitely hit up Kileigh and her agency. Check them out on Instagram. Have a look at what they're doing, because again, her pitch is that they will take her team and her, right? They will take that business from where they're at to less time involved, which gives them more free time to do what they want to do,
Right.
plus get them to that better level of success. So if you
Right.
are in that industry, definitely do connect with Kileigh for that. Definitely.
Of course.
Cool. So we've talked about your agency. We've got a good understanding of what it is you do, how you go about pitching the clients and such. And so you mentioned a little bit earlier on, Kylie, that you have a couple of team members, right? So you have
Mhm.
a social media manager and a content creator. Is there
Mhm.
anyone else on the team? And then apart from that, kind of what helped you when hiring those people? Was it certain platforms? Was it, did you have like a certain contract in place with them? Just some tips on that, because I know a lot of people do struggle with getting their first contractor involved. It can be quite scary, right? Because you're paying someone, and it can be also quite confusing as well.
Right, of course. So just to let everybody know, I do already have a background in hiring individuals freelance. I have a fashion design business as well. So I've hired freelancers through that. So I know the bits and bouts about doing it. But
Yeah.
for a creative agency, I had a team member. She did the social media and content creation for our first client. She decided to go on to other ventures that gave her more hours, which I completely understand.
Hmm.
But the way I hired her was through Upwork, like you requested, in your TikToks. I followed that method. Um, she was based in the US. I usually only hire US girls as well. Another way I do it is I put it on my own personal social media. I will let everybody in my audience know. I think you made some content talking about connecting with people that you already are in your network. So
Yeah.
yeah, since a lot of people have been following me for some time, they know my background and my education, and we also went to school together. So I'll just put an ad up on my social media, and people usually reach out. Also, I put advertisements on Indeed.com, and that's how I'm hiring some digital sales consultants right now.
Cool. Awesome. So we've got Upwork, we've got use your local audience, right? If it's your Instagram, your Facebook, and then obviously you've got Indeed as well. Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, cool. And so like goal wise, Kylie, speak to me. Where are you going in the next 6 months, 9 months with your agency? Where do you see where you going?
In the next 6 months with my agency, I hope to bring in more clients that are just based in social media management and content creation. I want to get away from
Cool.
doing some of the smaller jobs.
Hmm.
I definitely well, we're in the process of hiring digital sales consultants. So I want to bring on a team of women that have the opportunity to bring revenue and create revenue for themselves just through
Hmm.
sales and servicing my clients. That's mostly my goal, is making this and also automating this business so I can live my passion of being a fashion designer. And yeah,
Cool.
about it.
Nice. And in terms of automating the business, is there anything right now that's like really taking a lot of your time, or is it just like lots of little bits and pieces?
Yes. So right now, since I'm in the process of hiring like more content creators and social media managers and stuff, I do
Hmm.
most of the work right now. So it's still
Yeah.
kind of like I'm a freelancer, but I'm
Hmm.
still like have moving parts and I outsource small jobs.
Yeah.
So and also managing clients because customer service is very important.
Mhm.
Every time somebody signs on, they get a bouquet of flowers sent to them directly. And I just make sure that we're constantly in communication and stuff. So maintaining each of those clients is very time consuming as well. So I hope to have a client service manager soon to handle that aspect so I can step away a little bit.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. And you mentioned something obviously very unique there, right? The fact that
Yeah.
you're sending out a bouquet of flowers to your
Mhm.
clients. And that's something that, I think a lot of people, if you have an agency, you should think about what can you give that's unique that your client will actually get value from. So you obviously understand your clients, right? And again, they're probably mainly females who understand that, hey, look, who doesn't like a bouquet of flowers? Most of them are going to be like, wow, love the thought, love the flowers. And it's going to create that great experience with you. So like within 1 or 2 weeks of signing up with your agency, it's like, wow, they're getting all this new stuff, new time, all that good stuff, but they're also getting this extra little bonus. So
Right.
nice. Yeah, I really, really like that. And that's something as well that I've heard of people automating activities like that, where,
Mhm.
for example, the second you have a new client, you would just set it up so that a message goes directly, let's say, to a virtual assistant. And then the virtual assistant just places the order for the flowers. It all connects and they just ship them out directly then
Yeah.
to your new client as well.
I would love to do that. And also, that's kind of a marketing tip as well for me. So, when the business owners would usually get their flowers, they usually tag us on Instagram too. So that gets
Nice.
their audience to come check us out as well. So, we're hitting a lot of
Amazing.
different aspects there.
Amazing, amazing. So you're creating good client experience, a good feeling from literally, the first week with you. But like you said, you're also getting that potential extra clients because you're actually getting them incentivized to share about you guys. So
Right.
absolutely love that one as well.
Thanks.
Cool, cool. Again, another very unique thing about your agency that most people are not doing. So I definitely respect that and
Thank
think
you.
that that will definitely pay big, big dividends for you.
Thank
Yeah, and like just going back to the automation side as well, automating your business, whether it's for yourself, Kileigh, or anybody watching, it can be tough, right? You have to really kind of sit back because often when you are in the day to day, you're doing everything, you're just so busy in getting it done each day that it's hard to sit back for like 1 or 2 hours and look at how can I build a system to solve this big mess.
Right.
So the biggest things that I recommend is like, find when your brain power is like most fired up. So for me, it's always first thing in the morning before I check my phone or anything like that. That's when I try and build systems, so I'll sit down and even if it's just for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I'll just sit down and be like, what's going on? Like what
Right.
is happening in the business right now that is either draining my time or one is just not high ROI, right? For example,
Right.
I'm doing it every day, but it just doesn't really produce revenue. And what can I do there to build some form of a system, whether it's 100% automated or I hand it off to a virtual assistant? You just want to look at when do you have the brain power to do so and when are you fresh? So for me, that
Right.
works, but just something to think about for yourself.
Yes, I'll definitely do that. I remember you were saying also work in increments of like 45 minutes to an
Mhm.
hour. I definitely tried that out and it definitely was beneficial. So I'm going to keep using this as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think, that's a big one as well, just for productivity, where
Mm.
if you work in those super like disciplined blocks of say 45 minutes, you'll probably get your entire, let's say, workday done in just a much shorter period. So
Right,
instead of it taking 8 hours, it only takes 5 hours. So then
right,
you've got 3 hours where you can do whatever you want, whether that's
right,
literally just enjoy your life, or it's 3 hours in your case, maybe to work on your other business or to sit down and build another system so that that
right,
5 hours becomes 4 hours or 3 hours. And eventually you just keep knocking away at that until it gets to the point where there's just all these moving different pieces that you essentially don't need to touch. And you've got your team handling most of it for you.
right. Of course, definitely.
Cool, cool. So I think those are some good goals. Like you said, keep the client experience and results up, because as an agency, that's probably the most important part, right? If we don't have that, we won't be able to get too far. But also then, like you said, you're going to bring on a team of women, right? So a digital sales consultant. So for you, Kileigh, is that going to be someone who is just going to like take calls for you? Or is it going to be someone who's like setting the appointments and kind of doing all the groundwork and then going on the call and hopefully closing the deal as well?
Yes, the second option. So the girls will definitely be acting like how I usually do to
Mhm.
get my clients. So they'll be reaching out via DM, stuff
Cool.
like that, getting on calls to close the sale. And then or even if I get the client service manager, well, when I get the client service manager, we'll be sending out the proposals and stuff like that and connecting with the client on the onboarding process.
Sweet. Okay, cool, cool. And have you thought about kind of how you're going to structure that financially? Are you going to do commissions? What way is that going to be set up?
Yes, so it's commission based. It's 20%. They'll get 20% on each deal they close. And I let them know that
Sweet.
every client is a 3-month retainer. So
Hmm.
if they close a 3-month deal, then that's either going to be a constant check depending on how the client pays. So
Hmm.
say if the client pays upfront, the whole retainer, they get a 10% discount, just more initiative to get them pay upfront.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then we also do payment plans. So there's an option for biweekly. So if the client does sign a biweekly payment plan, then that sales consultant will get a 20% commission for that month at the end
Okay.
of the month.
Awesome. Awesome. I really, really like that. I think 10 to 20% is usually quite the sweet spot for commissions. It obviously depends on the size of the deals. If you're
Right,
selling services for $300, okay, 10% is not going to be
right,
much and people won't be happy with that. But if it's 2K and they're getting 20%, that's pretty damn good. It's,
exactly.
as long as they can get good at prospecting, getting people qualified, getting them onto the phone, they'll be able to make way more than they'd be able to make in a 9 to 5 job. And hopefully it's something then that they enjoy a little bit more as well. So solid.
Exactly. Yes, and I'm usually looking for girls who are interested in beauty or have their esthetician license and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So they're already interested. So they're ready to go.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Another key point you mentioned was the pay in full discount of 10%. We do that as well. And, anybody watching this, definitely do it. There's a lot of clients that will come to you that will be happy to pay for 3 months up front,
Right.
as long as you've shown that you're competent, right? Sometimes if they're doubting, then they're probably not going to do it, right? Because they'll just say, hey, I'll just do a monthly payment, and they just feel more secure that way. But as long as you can make your client feel that they trust you and they know that you're going to do a good job, definitely give them that little incentive. 10%, for you, okay, you lose 10%, but that's much better than a client who came in for 2 months and then for some reason like ghosted you and then
Right.
disappeared for month 3. Because trust me, it does happen. It's rare, but it's happened to me a couple of times. And sometimes it's not due to the fact that you had a bad service. Sometimes it's due to the fact that something happened with their business that you cannot control, like their supply chain or something like that, and they just kind of go AWOL and they just cut
Right.
all of their credit cards. They say, hey, we're not paying any suppliers, and they just leave it
Right.
as that. So yeah,
Right.
not a great tip from you. Awesome.
Oh, also, well, with Honeybook, you can definitely set up audio pay, so you don't even have to worry about hawking people down.
Hmm.
Just slide that little toggle over, and then it's just automated. You can get your payments whenever they're set and scheduled.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And we use something called Stripe, which is
Mhm.
obviously different in a sense. I know Honeybook is something you use for a lot of things, right? Like you use it not just for the client billing, but for a few other things. So you can definitely speak to us on that. If anyone is interested, Kileigh can probably get you set up with Honeybook. She knows how to use it and all of that good stuff. But yes, definitely auto bill your clients, whether you're using Honeybook or you're using Stripe or even PayPal. Like make sure you're doing that. The last thing you want to be doing is messaging a client because they are meant to pay you and they haven't paid you, and you're like, hey, where's my payment? Like that
Right.
should not happen. You should have
Right.
it set up, you have the details on file, and you just build that through. Whenever the date comes, it goes through.
Right, exactly. And Honeybook actually does use Stripe as well. It's
Okay,
like
cool.
integrated in their back end. But yeah, Honeybook is definitely, I highly, highly, highly recommend Honeybook because you can send proposals, send contracts, send scheduling to book your clients for initial calls or weekly calls, automating your payments. Everything you need is in one platform. You can also do your client relationship management there too. So say you're
Nice.
prospecting, you can move them down the pipeline of your follow-up section. Also, you can email them directly through the platform, when people are opening it. You can do your automations as well. And I'm going to give Adam my referral code so you guys can sign up. I believe you get a 20% off discount, but don't hold me on that. You can check it out. But yes, I definitely highly recommend Honeybook. Also, I remember when you were saying something about making your services a product. So
Hmm.
I decided to create 3 tiers of social media management. So there's different
Cool.
levels for each business needs. And I decided to make them available to purchase on our website directly, like as little e-commerce things.
Hmm.
So I'm testing that out this month, and I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Definitely let me know, Kylie. We have that with our kind of low ticket offer right now, which is really low ticket. It's $450 per month, or they can sign up like that for a 3-month program, and then we do the 10% discount. And it's an interesting one. It's definitely harder, right, to get someone to like click on the website and then just sign up, right? Most times they're going to want to
Right.
have a quick call with us, just even to ask like, a couple questions. Could be 5-10 minutes, and then they're like,
Right.
okay, cool, I'm good to go, and I'll go ahead and sign up. We kind of split tested it for about a month, where we did half the people we were reaching out to, we did, hey, book in a call with us, and the other half, it was a case study. Plus, then we had the link to all of the details of the packages we have. And it did work, but it did mean that our close rate was significantly lower. So let's say, for
Mhm.
example, if on average we were bringing in 5 clients per week via sending the messages and then booking in a call, with the sales page, it was probably like 2 a week. So definitely a dip, but obviously it's scalable.
Right.
So my recommendations to you on that are definitely try it. Stick to maybe your low ticket offer for
Mhm.
that. Or additionally, which is what we're doing now, is that when they book a call, then we send them an email, which is, before our call, please make sure you have a quick look at our packages here so that you can understand everything about them. So you can have your questions ready. So when you come on the call, and that way, when we get people to book calls, which we know is going to give us more clients, but we also know that it's going to qualify them to an extent where they understand the packages. So
Right.
that's something you could set up. We just do it in Calendly. So once they book it, they get the thank you email, which is, hey, thanks for booking in your call. Please make sure to have a look at this link, which has the details of our packages as well.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Definitely will try that out.
Cool. But yeah, definitely good to have. Even with that, Kylie, just for like, simplifying the business, it can work so that if you're on a sales call, you could literally be like, okay, cool, you're good to go. I'll just pull up the website, send you the link, pop in your
Right.
details, and it just makes that transaction a lot quicker. Where
Right.
if it was a super long process of, oh, I have to build out a proposal and I got to get a Stripe invoice and then I got to send it to you, you can just be like, boom, it's all there. Just click the
Right.
button, add your details, and we're good to go.
Right. Exactly. I think that that's another reason why I created it, just so the process could be a little bit faster for the
Yeah.
clients. Like when we're
Hmm.
on the call and they're like, I'm ready, I can just send them that link and be like,
Boom.
here, you can purchase it right now and we can get going.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And we've been using it a lot with sales calls as well, where, like I mentioned, obviously when they're ready, like you said, we
Mhm.
just say, hey, here's the link, sign up. But also we've got like tons of proof and results and testimonials on that page. So when we have
Right.
a sales call, we can just kind of have that in the background, share our screen, walk through their social media first. And then once we kind of transition to the pitch, we'll just pull up that page and we'll be like showing off our results. We've got all the screenshots, and it obviously then helps our conversion rate on the call as well.
Right. So on your calls, do you go through their social media as well?
We do. Now, I will say that it kind of depends on where the business is at. So if
Mhm.
it's like a brand new business, we'll talk a little bit about their social media, but we won't dig into it too much
Mhm.
because they're pretty new and they don't
Right.
really know what they're doing. So the main thing they want is just like, they want some tips, they want some strategies, and they want to hear exactly how we can get good results. Whereas for some of our clients where they're a little bit more experienced and they have a good following already, a lot of times what we find is that they're kind of confused, right? They're confused about why they're not getting results. So then we pull up the social, we kind of give them a bit of an audit, right? Literally live on the call of like, okay, I can see you're doing this, you should be doing this. Or I see you're doing this, but our client does this and they get all these better results. So we'll just kind of compare between what they're doing and what they could be doing to get more results.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to add that into our
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. And like that, it's not static. You know, I think sales is very dynamic, so it doesn't work for every call, but
Right.
depending on where they're at, I would definitely go with that. You know, another tip on that one, Kileigh, is that let's say you open up the call, right? And they're like, yeah, Kileigh, you know, thanks for hopping on. Really looking forward to chatting with you. And then they say, yeah, I'm just really struggling with this part of my social media, or I don't get many story views, or when I post, I don't get any likes. So for me, that would be like a clear indicator of, okay, let's pull up the social media, let's go through it, let's give some feedback. Whereas if they just hop on and they're just like super interested to hear what you do and how you can get great results, okay, we probably don't need to, and we can probably just focus on what you do, the clients you have, and the results that you can get as well.
Right. Okay, awesome.
Cool. Yeah, definitely add that in. Let me know how it goes.
Okay,
Be
will
excited
do.
to see any results you get from that. So Kileigh, I think we've covered quite a lot there. You know, we've looked at your industry, how you got into it, the fact that you're running this alongside another business, which I think is very highly commendable. You know, a lot of people think that running an agency will take all your time. And look, yes, it can take time, but you can set it up in a way where you can manage two things at once, whether that's a job and your agency, whether that's a second business and your agency, or it's college and your agency.
Right.
And yeah, like, thank you for sharing all those tips when it comes to how you do your outreach, how you kind of get that trust with the business, how you then convert them onto a call. And yeah, like if there's anything else you want to drop here for people, definitely do. I know you mentioned your agency website, you mentioned Honeybook, so we can definitely drop those links down below of this video so that people can definitely check them out. But yeah, just any final words that you have for people, whether it's just motivation that you want to share, or if it's some tips that helped you, definitely feel free to do so.
Okay, great. So it's definitely just motivation. I would say if anybody wants to start a social media marketing agency, definitely do it. Don't hesitate. At first, I hesitated because I was mainly focusing on my fashion business. But when I decided to like go all into social media management, it was just like amazing results. So if you feel like this is something you really want to do, I highly recommend you get into it. And don't be scared. Just work on your confidence and you can definitely produce results. Whether it takes a week or a month, just keep at it and you'll definitely be successful in the industry.
Boom. Awesome. Love it. Good. There are some good final words to end on, I think. So Kileigh, thank you for the wisdom, the strategies, the advice, the tips, and for just coming on the call. And to everyone else, I hope you got some value from this. Definitely do check out Kileigh, her agency, and what they're doing over there. And of course, like I mentioned, if you are in that industry, you have a beauty business, or you know someone who might have a beauty business, definitely connect them, set up one of those free consultations, and see if Kileigh can help you out.
Yes, of course. I look forward to connecting with each of you guys.
Perfect. Awesome. Alrighty, guys, we will see you all in the next video. And thank you, Kileigh, for hopping on.
Of course. Thank you.